Team playing as France in Victoria 3, and I'm trying to conquer everything that France controlled in Europe during its peak in the Napoleonic War. So that means like all of this area, Poland, also Spain. It's quite a lot of territory, and we'll probably end up doing some more, like maybe southern England or whatever. I'm gonna start out by researching water tube boiler into pharmaceuticals. These are like by far the most important tier 2 techs, and then after that, maybe we just go straight into steel frame buildings. You guys want to go for? I think we might want to disband Dolphus Mieg at Sea. Let me look at this. Looks like we don't have any great replacements yet, but we will probably be replacing that company soon once we conquer a state for a new company. I'm going to, of course, go for laissez-faire as soon as possible here. Wait, why is our success chance this high? Oh, our ruler has Orleanist, right? That makes sense. We're going to be trying to go for the Bonapartists, but we want to actually suppress the Bonapartists for now because they are going to give a stall chance on laissez-faire, which is very bad. We want to try to get that through as fast as possible. If we raise high taxes, oh, that puts us in unacceptable government. We don't want to do that because we really would prefer to have as much pass chances on this as possible, or I mean enactment time. And then we'll also go for some more construction here and get a good early game economy going. Rhone and Alsace-Lorraine are by far the best French states, so we are going to be building tall in these two states at the start until we run out of population in those states. I'm going to invade Asterius because it has an amazing company, which is steel, coal, and iron. We will, of course, have a duplicate steel from the John Cockerell company in Wallonia, but that company is going to be significantly later because I do want to wait for natural borders of France to go for that. And the company is still really good because, iron and coal are still industries that we're going to want to have. I'm also going to, wait to add other war goals till the British declare neutrality because Britain is somewhat close to joining the war, although I don't really believe that they're going to join the war. The British AI usually doesn't join against US France because France has a stronger military than Britain when they join without their subjects, that is, and when they join a diploplay, they don't count their subjects for that, so I don't think that they should get involved. We should be pretty good here. We should be getting the divided monarchist thing pop up. I'm going to support the Orleanists, even though I want to get a Bonapartist, because at the very start, I just want to be able to pass laissez-faire, and we need to sway someone to Orleanism in order to do that. So I'm going to sway these guys, and then actually we should exile the PB, because that will be good. Wait, he's too similar to the ideology of the ruler? That is very surprising. Okay, well that was, I guess, just a little bit of a waste, but we'll just do this, and it will be fine. I just realized I forgot to create a power block, so I'm just going to create a Sovereign Empire power block. Of course, getting this without going high infamy without a Sovereign Empire power block is probably basically impossible, so we're going to be using a lot of Sovereign Empiring throughout this run, probably, in order to be able to subjugate all the countries we need to subjugate over here in Central Europe. Waiting for Britain to declare neutrality so I can go for Spanish War reparations and liberate Catalonia. And with this, we should be good. Yeah, we want to liberate Catalonia because this should hopefully drop Spain to a minor power, and then we can eventually subjugate them either using the bloc or just a war. I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to subjugate them with a bloc because they probably have pretty high leverage resistance. I think 2 armies should probably be enough to take out Spain fairly quickly. Just going to mobilize, or going to put as many generals as possible so they can attack faster. Now we got our Spain war escalated. I guess we can invade China. I'm just going to go for a Formosa treaty port and war reparations. You could conquer Beijing here or whatever, but it's not going to be necessary. Just going to go for Formosa. Well, a treaty port on Formosa, that is. War with China has escalated, so I'm going to mobilize this 40 stack and go for a naval invasion on... I guess we'll go from Formosa since the British have already started a naval invasion on Beijing. And now peace out with Spain, get our conquering of Asturias. I'm obviously going to start incorporating this because we need that in order to get that company. We really want this company. You can probably find it in our list of companies. It's going to take me a second, but surely I can find it. There it is. And we just need 3 coal mines in Asturias, and we can create this amazing company. So I'll create 3 coal mines, I guess. Oh, there's also gold here. Even better. We should reset PMs there, I guess, because it looks like it has bad PMs. It had the gold on harvesting tools, or not harvesting tools, picks and shovels. I'm gonna get a defensive pact and stuff with Catalonia, trying to get them into the bloc, because I'm gonna try to get as many members as possible, of course, so we can get our mandate growth up a little bit, because right now, of course, we're only getting 5 mandate per week, which isn't great. We need 2,000 mandate per mandate, so it looks like it's about 7 years of mandate, which is very slow. Well, that's a pretty good time on passing laissez-faire there. Our budget is not looking good right now, but now that we got laissez-faire passed, we can start bolstering the Bonapartist movement instead of suppressing it. And I'm going to start suppressing the legitimist movement because it's actually like gaining a lot of traction, and I don't want the legitimists to win. And then we want to try to sway some of these guys to Bonapartism, I guess. What is Bonapartism actually like? It likes a lot of terrible things, so might not want to swap these guys to Bonapartists quite yet. That seems kind of unnecessary and just gonna be bad for us. Like we haven't gotten water tube boiler or anything yet. We get another company slot. What do we want to do with this? We could just put in like generic wood or something. We will get company du Congo though, so that will kind of just be better. I think I'll put in the home goods company. This company is usually really solid. Yeah, I'll go for the home goods one. I'm going to declare a rivalry with Prussia because we need more influence, and I guess also Russia because we need even more influence, and we'll leave it at that for now. I'm gonna try to get the church to be happy because right now we're getting negative 20% education access from them, which is not ideal. I guess legal guardianship is a decent thing to make them happy passing. I'm not sure if we'll actually want to pass this or not, but it's nice to just get that extra little bit of happiness on the Catholic Church. Okay, we can now peace out with China, get that Formosa Treaty port, and with Chinese war reparations. I'm of course going to start importing grain from China. It's always a nice little source of grain to make your grain shortage less terrible. As all these European countries, you always have huge grain shortages. I just think we should start building up a bunch more iron industries, probably. And yeah, that's going to be pretty good. Oh yeah, I should raise taxes, because we do have laissez-faire passed now. I guess I'll do this government. We don't need the industrialist in government anymore, and that'll give us a lot more legitimacy. I'm just kind of surprised that there's so much legitimacy, given that our king is an industrialist, but it's fine. I'm also going to start trying to get Sardinia Piedmont into the block. I'm probably going to slowly try to get all of Italy into the block, because that is a nice couple of minor powers there, like Papal States and Two Sicilies are both minor powers. Switzerland is also a minor power, so there's lots of countries that I'd like to get into the block there. Belgium, we are going to stop guaranteeing the independence of after the London Conference, because it is just kind of a waste, and we have like return CBs on most of their country. If the 24 points treaty goes into effect, then it will be the entirety of their country, in fact. Get the London Conference thing. Let's settle this matter once and for all. And I'm just going to favor the 24 points because we get 10 relations with every German cultured country, which we don't really like the German cultured countries that much, but it's better to have good relations than bad relations usually. The third Bonaparte, we get Louis Napoleon Bonaparte enters our country. Perhaps he has learned his lesson. This guy we got to try to get as our leader of our country. He's a great guy, you know. Supports the Bonapartist movement, the best movement in the country. He's ambitious for minus decree cost, and he's an experienced political operative. He's a pretty good ruler. I mean, you know, cautious is always better, of course, but he's definitely not bad. But yeah, we should do the Return of the Ashes thing. It doesn't really matter when you do it, but we might as well do that. That'll give us pre-approval and 40 Bonapartist support, bring Bonapartists up to #1 progress. Yeah, I can invite Catalonia to the block. Very nice. We'll subjugate them in 5 years. Sardinia, Piedmont, you're next. Okay, the London Conference has concluded, and it looks like we got 24 points. Alright, I'm going to stop guaranteeing the independence of Belgium now. Also, I'm going to actually put nationalism as my next tech, because I realize we want to do natural borders of France next. That's going to be good for that, and then we'll go steel frame after that, of course. With the rise of radicalism here, we can either get support the radical movement or support the conservative establishment. I think usually support the conservative establishment is the better option there. We don't want to make Louis Napoleon Bonaparte less popular. We got to give him 900 trillion popularity. I have way too good of relations with Belgium. I'm going to start damaging relations because we do need to get below 20 so we can declare on them once we get natural borders. Almost running out of infamy, so I'm just going to declare a quick little war against Bolivia. These are always a pretty nice guy to get as your protectorate. I'm not going to do the transfer North Peru thing this time, I guess. We'll just go for a quick little Bolivian protectorate. I think I'm not going to pass legal guardianship, but we'll stop passing that. It's going to make the church a little bit mad, but it's fine. Okay, Bolivia backed down. Nice to see. And the Peru stuff should unify. Yep, it's all one big Peru now. That is going to be a bit of a problem because they are going to try to declare independence potentially, but we should just better reduce these guys' autonomy eventually. And then from there, steal Peru. I forgot to declare a colony down here in Kenya. I'm going to start a colony here. That's going to be very important because we do want to get into East Africa. That's always one of the most important things. In fact, after nationalism, I should go for quinine before steel frame. Just keep making the gap to steel frame longer and longer. I should actually go for unis soon so that we can try to speed that up, I guess. Are we subsidizing our railroads? I hope we are. We are, okay. I'm just gonna build another railroad and and then probably start building some unis somewhere. Maybe, no, Ile-de-France has huge turmoil seemingly because we can't really go there without construction penalties. Maybe Burgundy's decent. Welcome, Sardinia, Piedmont to the power block. Very nice. Well, there's an uprising in Bulgaria against the Ottoman Empire. You know what this means. I think that we might want to get a subject here. It's to ask for become protectorate, not ask for obligation, absolve the obligation, get a defensive pact, now abandon, and oh dang, okay. Well, that's unfortunate that we can't quite get it unless like we can make an way ideologically similar government, but no, we cannot do that. So no Bulgarian protectorate, unfortunately. Got my first mandate. I'm gonna go advanced research. Oh, Asterius has incorporated, so I'm going to disband Dolphus Mieg at Sea and go for the Duro y Campania Company. I actually don't know where that's set up in HQ. It's set up in HQ in Rhone. Okay, that's a great state for it to set up an HQ in. Bro, we have turmoil here? You're actually kidding me. We need to not have turmoil there, please. No. So we need to get public health insurance, so I need to actually go down on taxes real quick in order to get these guys in legitimately, because I do want to pass that ASAP. So it's super important to get public health insurance. I need to get the armed forces to powerful so we can trigger the event for natural borders of France. We need to get a powerful interest group that is Bonapartist or Jingoist or whatever. If I just promote a bunch of these armed forces generals, which we have, because I guess France starts the game with a ridiculous amount of armed forces generals for some reason, you should be able to get them powerful. And okay, yeah, we'll sign a trade agreement with Spain, and that should give us natural borders of France, the limits of the nation. Our borders must reach the Rhine, and, you know, I'd kind of like to attack these guys, except Britain would be likely to join, and so would Brazil. We could actually invade Prussia, I guess. That might be better. Britain is still somewhat likely to get involved, but Britain actually, the army's actually kind of weak. So Britain and Ottomans are the only people guaranteeing Belgium, and Britain's army is like tiny because for some reason they like deleted half of it or something. So I think we can just beat Belgium up here and get Flanders and Wallonia. That seems like pretty good. Start mobilizing the army and destroy the Belgians. Britain has joined against us in the play, but I just don't think they have a big enough army to stop us. We could even go for like British war ups or whatever, but you know, we'll let them free this war. Not next war though. We could actually like conquer Kenya maybe, but I don't think that's necessary. Oh, our Bonapartist support has reached 100%, meaning we get the Bonapartist restoration. Long live Louis Napoleon gives 20% radical to the landowners and 50 popularity. Gives 10%. Okay, let's take the 50 popularity, I guess. Now we have to cement the House of Bonaparte, which is kind of hard because our legitimacy is terrible right now, but I will swap governments soon, and that will give us a lot more legitimacy. Oh, legitimacy is just awful. Can we do something like this? Yes. Okay, this will give us a bit more legitimacy. I'm gonna subjugate Catalonia. Now I've occupied Wallonia. Just need Flanders. I've now passed public health insurance. Oh wait, we actually occupied Belgium and then it got deoccupied. Bruh. All my armies are like fighting somewhere in Africa, and I have to go return them. Okay, that's a bit annoying. Okay, Springtime of the Peoples is finally over. We can get 10% loyalists or 25 legitimacy. Normally I'd take the 10% loyalists, but in this case we need legitimacy, so I'm going to take legitimacy. Oh yeah, we already have healthcare pass, so I should actually change governments over to this. And now we've got 98 legitimacy, which should mean that this is going to tick up pretty quick. I think it's like 2 a week. Oh no, our country is not doing so good right now. Yeah, this is not great that we're getting super occupied, but it'll be fine. It's just, bruh. Okay, well, that's annoying that they got front spaghetti like that, but it'll be fine. Okay, Belgium is full occupied, so we can get return Flanders and Wallonia now. Very nice. These states cost a lot of bureaucracy to incorporate, but gotta go for that incorporation on Flanders and Wallonia, surely. Yeah, this is a nice little expansion of our country. Next, we'll have to go for the Prussian states, I guess, but that's probably gonna be a minute, I think. Oh, we can get an embassy with Switzerland. Can probably get them in the block fairly soon. Actually, we're only at 60 leverage advantage so far. We're actually closer to getting Spain into the block. I forget that Switzerland has, like, huge leverage resistance due to their national militia thing that gives 50% more. Spain is actually getting somewhat close. Are we predicted to go to 200 with Spain? We actually are. Okay. And we can already get Spain to the block. This is really nice to get Spain to the block this early. Very nice. Should turn this block into the continental system. That definitely had no problems when that happened. Definitely no problems. I got an obligation from bankrolling to doing a Piedmont, so I can now do the Treaty of Turin, and we can get 20% loyalists, or we can incorporate it. I'll take the 20% loyalists, I guess. That'll be pretty nice. Now, all we're missing for natural borders is the Rhineland stuff and getting Luxembourg. Dang, Spain has upgraded to being a major power. It's not ideal, but I guess it does give us quite a bit of mandate. You get 5 mandate from having a minor or major power member, which is nice. It really starts helping up to steel frame buildings. I guess we'll start with Alsace-Lorraine. Okay, looks like we actually don't have any shortages yet, so we'll swap up Rhone as well. And then now we've got huge shortages that we'll have to solve, and all will be fine. Build glass and steel. We also are going to need huge amounts of, and explosives. And with that, we'll be good. I really should stop wasting my authority on bolstering and suppressing this and use it on probably more consumption taxes. I didn't realize we were doing that. 50k for a grain consumption tax. I kind of like that. I think I'm gonna take that. It's gonna kill our SOL, but I need so much money. I'm gonna invade Luxembourg, and I think Germany's gonna join them. Yeah, Germany is going to join them. Oh, can we reduce autonomy on Bolivia? We should probably do that so we can get Peru as a subject. Oh, wait, what? With the Bolivian AI has done some stuff over here. I was not paying attention, but clearly maybe Peru fought an independence war and was supported by Chile, but lost, and so Chile has lost Santiago and Peru got like most of their states taken. That's really interesting. Peru has yet to side in. Okay, they have sided in now. Egypt actually has a really big army, and that is actually a little bit of a threat, but I think it'll be fine. We've got a really big army too, and our army is actually good. Oh, I forgot that I wanted to add in return Rhineland and return North Rhine as war goals. And I guess we'll take some Prussian war reparations and humiliate Prussia and liberate Pomerania, yeah, I'll liberate Pomerania. Well, the war isn't going great, but it's fine. Also, I think we can put in the new company that we got from Belgium. Yep, John Cockrell. We just incorporated Wallonia a second ago, so that's nice. Okay, we're losing terribly on this front, but we're winning greatly on this front, so it's fine. Surely it's fine, surely. Got like the whole Netherlands occupied, but that isn't actually going to enforce anyone out. It's just going to kind of be nice, I guess. Hopefully Siam and Egypt will slowly cap out. I mean, Egypt is going to cap out eventually. It's just a matter of how long. We should be pretty quickly pushing through here. We've got a way bigger advantage than they do on their front, so we should be able to push through faster. Oh, it's now one big front. Okay, nice. Apparently we have 76% occupation of the Rhineland and 88% occupation of North Rhine, but I assume they actually have no on Wallonia and stuff. I guess it broke their occupation or whatever. Oh, okay, Luxembourg is now encircled, so I'll go for the occupation on that so that so the Netherlands can start capping, I guess. Oh dang, they got into there in time. Okay, we'll start defending there now, I guess, then. I'm gonna try to conscript so we can take over Luxembourg, because we really need to take over Luxembourg in order to win this war. Adding Liberate Pomerania wasn't great, because now we can't enforce on Prussia, even though we held both of the Rhineland states, so that's a bit of a problem. Egypt and whoever is out of the war now, so I'm going to start trying to push over here, because we need to try to get Prussia out. This is just not going great for us right now. Okay, I'm winning a battle to advance into Luxembourg, finally. I think we should get some good stuff here. I started using an open terrain commander, because I figured that this is probably going to be mostly flatlands, so that would probably be good. And looks like we're winning now that we're doing that. Okay, that's good. We just need to win a couple battles, occupy Luxembourg, and we'll be good. Oh, apparently I forgot to spend my mandates. Well, we get Advanced Research 2 and Food Standardization 2. Or, we get Advanced Research 3 and Food Standardization 2. And this should finally mean that the Netherlands can start capitulating in a second year. And then from there, we can start working on Russia. I should really probably value the Open Terrain Commander trait more. It seems like it's actually like one of the strongest traits. We should be at a much bigger advantage now, because I think the Netherlands was actually like a pretty big section of the army, because they had like the Dutch East Indies and stuff having troops over there as well. Yeah, we've got a 40 advantage now, which is solid. The Heavenly Kingdom has risen up against China. I don't think they're gonna win though. And unfortunately they are unrecognized majors, so we can't try to do the subjugate shenanigans. In fact, I actually don't know how we would get to them to protect them before they'd win, but like we can't do any shenanigans here, so we'll just have to, or I mean, we could maybe support the Heavenly Kingdom anyway, I guess. But actually, we can't even get to the front, so that'd be a little bit tricky, and it would just be to like get China open borders or whatever. So I think we're not going to do that. Pushing through Germany is going terribly. I'm going to try to do a naval invasion on Pomerania, except we actually don't have enough ships for that. Let's do like this one. Go for naval invasion on Pomerania. We need to get an admiral for this fleet. And yeah, I'm going to try to naval invade Pomerania because this is taking forever. These guys won 80% of the votes. That's pretty solid. These guys are slowly completing the Sim at the House of Bonaparte thing. It's got like a year and a half left to go. Unfortunately, our naval invasion is going pretty terribly, but we are actually just like about to get to Brandenburg. Okay, we finally occupied Brandenburg. Apparently the AI wants us to white peace. I don't know that I'd want a white peace right now, given how the war looks to be going in our favor. But that's a great idea, Prussia. But unfortunately, I just don't really feel like doing that right now, Also, we do need to actually take over the Rhineland from Bavaria in order to complete the journal. We also need to incorporate, so that's going to take another 5 years. But once we're done with that 5-year incorporation, we should be done with the natural borders of France. Proportional taxation is more money, so I'm going to start trying to pass that. Alright, I can make peace with Bavaria. Actually, they capitulated desire, but sure, we'll make peace anyway. Okay, we hit the 120 progress on that thing, so we get the Eternal House of Bonaparte. So we can get 10 legitimacy and 50 popularity for 5 years, or nothing. Okay, sure. I guess we'll take the bonus then. 10 legitimacy and 50 popularity. Very nice. And we remove the journal that gives you the penalties, like plus political movement activism, and boot a republic randomly if you have a radical movement have 75 activism or whatever. Those stuff was pretty annoying, but it doesn't matter anymore. It's now got a 135 popularity. I'm surprised it's that low. Oh, he's got some really bad traits. That's why, but it's still pretty good. 135 popularity is definitely more than you would normally have. Not necessarily more than normally on Napoleon, that is, actually, but more than most rulers have. Okay, I passed proportional taxation. Very nice. I don't know how much more money we're making, but it looks like we're no longer losing money, so we can afford more construction. Classic Connor special of building infinite construction. Very nice. Concern around infamy. I think I'm gonna start going for the Algerian stuff now. Oh, it's supported by Austria. At least those ones are. Can we maybe attack someone who isn't supported by Austria? No, it looks like they all are, seemingly. That's going to be a bit of a problem. How is Austria's power production relative to us? It's a bit lower, but it's not super low. I think we'll just have to fight them anyway, so we'll just go for it. And I kind of wanted to humiliate Austria anyway, because they have a lot of Italian guys in their block, and I'd kind of like to get those guys in my block instead. So we'll just try to do that, and maybe we'll liberate Lombardia and Venetia, because we want to try to form Italy with our Sardinia Piedmont guy. We'll just like swap out colonial offices with market unification or something, maybe food standardization. And once you have market unification and they're in the block, they'll just all get merged into Sardinia Piedmont, assuming they have good relations, which I think Sardinia Piedmont has good relations with most, yeah, all but Tuscany and Lucca. So I'm going to liberate Venice, I'm going to liberate Lombardia, and I'm going to take Austrian war reps, and I'm going to humiliate Austria. War isn't going too great, but probably just add even more conscripts and it should be fine. Whenever you're losing a war, just add more conscripts and then nothing could possibly go wrong, except for your balance sheet. That could definitely go wrong. Also, our construction queue isn't full. I should probably fill that up, but also I have auto queue on everything, so surely the auto queue will just find something to build. Surely it'll find something. It's seemingly not finding anything, so we are going to need to find something ourselves, unfortunately. Yeah, that's annoying. How dare the auto queue not find more things for me to build? This is evil. I need to build manually. How could the game do this to me? Our GDP growth has been really good so far, though. Like 99 million GDP. I'm looking at some of my past runs, and we're like ahead of the GDP of pretty much all my runs except for the Russia run, or not the Russia run, the China run. I think it's like the only one we're not ahead of right now, which is pretty good. Okay, yeah, Constantine became an Austrian protectorate, so that's not going to finish the war, or it's not going to finish them out of the war or whatever. I got this new army that I didn't realize we had. Oh, bro, the general I assigned to it just insta-died? That's annoying. Well, I'm going to try to nail and invade the Papal States with this army, I guess. Okay, we're into Venice now, so Austria should start capitulating and we can go for this very nice peace deal here. Okay, proposed peace deal. Very nice. Oh, we got the natural borders of France done. Of course, there's only one reasonable option here, and that is we're the liberators of Gaul, giving you a bunch of new primary cultures. The only reason you wouldn't click this is if you were trying to do some sort of like assimilation build, trying to assimilate the Occitans, I guess. But of course, assimilation is useless, and having them as primary cultures is exactly the same. So we'll take that option, and that means we now have the ability to farm Central Europe. I'm not sure that we will. I think we probably won't, but I'm not 100% certain on that decision quite yet. Looks like we're actually losing some bureaucracy. Not losing, but lacking some bureaucracy, so I will build some more of that. And go for colonial offices 3 now. That'll help reduce infamy costs, especially if we can level the institution up. We will need to build some more government administrations for that, though. Spain is getting a little bit too big for my liking. They're like growing surprisingly well, so I'm gonna like cancel the trade agreement and consider canceling the defensive pact and stuff. I just want to try to make them weaker. I think that a lot of their trade is with us right now, so canceling their ability to trade with us, or not canceling, but making them have to pay tariffs and stuff, should hopefully slightly lower their economy, but I definitely don't expect it to be able to completely stop it. They just kind of have a little bit too many states for us to be able to stop them from growing. We need to be able to take their like entire coast or something. We should start getting Portugal into the block a bit more aggressively. Getting an embassy and trade agreement should help us with that. Papal states wishes to grant us investment rights? Okay, we'll take that. I'm just gonna start granting papal states a bunch of stuff so we can try to get them into the block. That'll be nice. I'm gonna try to get everyone into the block. Block is going pretty well considering what, like, the stuff over here is the only stuff we've actually directly conquered. The rest, or no, actually this. But other than that, it's all just been power blocking, which is pretty solid. I think we're gonna have to attack Ait Abbas and then, or no, maybe let's just attack Mascara and then we'll save our infamy reduction for Ait Abbas, I guess, because it's gonna be a minute for our institution to level up, and I don't want to try to find a recognized person to attack right now, so I'm just gonna go for Mascara. Oh wow, Papal States has so much leverage resistance. Getting these guys in the block is gonna be like impossible. Wow, that's so much leverage resistance. Okay, I just finished annexing Ait Abbas, which means we get the Proclamation of Algiers, which can give us a couple different bonuses. Looks like these bonuses are all mostly useless. I guess I'll take the Loyalists on the Armed Forces guys. And we also get the claims, of course, which is going to be pretty useful. Not that useful, but, it's better than not having claims, I guess. Oh, also we got the Suez Isthmus surveyed. I think we will say coercion is the simplest form of persuasion, and we'll probably go for that eventually. 600,000 pops are in the Sinai. I think that's a way more than normal. Egypt must have gotten a bunch of migrants in here. That's actually pretty nice. Hopefully we'll be able to do the Sinai pretty easily. Does Egypt have, yeah, they have a greener grass campaign here, but do they have, like, schools or something to make these pops not, nope, they have no schools, so literacy is still going to be pretty bad. I've just unlocked vulcanization. I don't know how much rubber we really have in our country. Yeah, we really don't have much rubber yet, but as we slowly get rubber, I do want to swap up to machine steel tools ASAP, because that is super important. Now I'm next going to be going for, multilateral alliances and malaria prevention. These are always super important texts because multilateral is negative 25% infamy gen, and malaria prevention means we can colonize the rest of Africa. I forgot that France actually has a historical character anarchist that we might be able to use to try to pass multiculturalism. Unfortunately, the trade unions don't have that much clout, but if you could pass like universal suffrage or whatever, that could be pretty nice. Although our industrialists kind of hate that, so that might be a little tough to pass. Looks like we've got quite a bit of rubber, so we should probably turn on more machine steel tools. Surely this will be fine. Surely we have enough rubber. Surely it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry. The prices of rubber will slowly go down until we don't got a shortage again, I'm sure. This GDP is really solid. 205 million, 1867 for like a low infamy France run. Feels pretty good. Oops, I actually ran out of infamy. Typical Connor mistake. I'm gonna go for a little annexation on Tripolitania. That'll give us a border with Egypt, and then from there, maybe we'll go for the Sinai somewhat soon. Should really start focusing on Europe at some point, but I mean, we got plenty of time. Spain sided with Tripolitania. That's actually very convenient. That's gonna let us get them weak enough that we can make them into the bloc, or we can subjugate them, I mean. So the question is, do we want to liberate Andalusia for this, or do we want to try to conquer some stuff? Is there like a single... If we conquered Navarra, that's like 3 million GDP. Would that be enough? Is this like their entire supply of iron or something? No, it's not like their entire supply of any goods, seemingly, I think. Unless it's like coal. No, yeah. So I feel like Andalusia might be our best bet, because that's going to be... It's like 5 million GDP, and that's got to be enough, right? Surely 5 million GDP is enough. Go for Spanish war reps, and I guess we'll lib Andalusia. I mean, another country we have to block, but it should be pretty easy to get Andalusia into the block. Venice gets to join the power block now. And there's Tripoli annexed into the great French Empire. I was kind of hoping that they dropped a minor power in this war and I could, like, not have to liberate Andalusia, but that isn't happening, so we're going to propose peace deal and liberate Andalusia. Now they're cleanly a minor power, or they're going to cleanly drop to minor power. We'll just start guaranteeing and stuff Andalusia so we can get them into the block too. And I'm hugely lacking convoys, so I guess I'll build some ports. I guess it's because like overseas wars or whatever, but building ports should solve that. Also, our GDP is kind of lacking because we don't have enough stuff in the construction queue. We'd probably try to take some Chinese states at some point, or transfer India or whatever. We need like something for our construction queue to do. Transferring India shouldn't be too bad actually, because we do have multilateral alliances, so we could go for that, I guess. It is only 77 infamy, which isn't too bad. Kind of like to get a cautious, but I also want to stick with the Bonapartes the whole game, so kind of a bit of a dilemma. I think I want to stick with the Bonapartes more than I want to get a cautious. Oh, Napoleon died! Dang, now I've got this lame Bonaparte. How dare we? How dare us have this trash Bonaparte instead of Napoleon III? This is terrible. Okay, I can subjugate Spain now. Very nice. Well, from here, we could go into the Holy Roman Empire area, but I kind of just want to, quickly steal the East India Company from the British. This is always a classic thing you got to do as the great powers. Steal India from the British. And, while we're at it, we might as well liberate Wales and put an interest in the North Sea and go for liberate Scotland and Ireland, truly cut the British down so we can, steal England easier from them later on. I should actually start building like a giant army in the queue because we have like so much money at this point that it should be like pretty easy to afford. 240 million GDP, we can probably build like a giant navy and then a giant army for that navy. Something like this, and then that, and we should be good. Well, I forgot to add the liberates, but it doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna go for a naval invasion on home countries. They only have 21 defenders right now, so we should be able to get in. Maybe I shouldn't have added liberate Wales. It's gonna mean we have to land them, which might be tricky, but I don't think it'll be that bad. We've got shrapnel RT, so we should be able to land. Might, like, want to have some more Miltech for that, but, we can't be Russian Miltech. Who do you think we are? Noobs who need Miltech? We don't need Miltech, we're France. Okay, we're successfully landing, which is good, I guess. I mean, I'd prefer to land better, of course, but this is not terrible. Go for extra supplies. Oh, they've got like 100 guys here, so that's going to be tough to land against now. Yeah, we're definitely going to need some more troops in order to land them now. Might just like multi-land all their provinces or whatever. Oh, they're down to 68 now, but it's still going to be like too much probably. Yeah, there's tons of fleets we're defeating, but we need more armies. This army might be good. We just need to have more navy. We almost have enough navy for it, actually. Oh, I just realized the British are, like, invading our country. Should probably go deal with that. That would be a pretty solid idea to go try to stop the British who are invading our country. That would be good. They defeated my navy, but I got a new admiral, so we can try to land again. Our landing up here in Scotland isn't going too badly, which is nice. I'm basically out of debt. This is completely unacceptable. It's time to build 9 trillion universities to give us some more tech spread, but also to get us into more debt. Someone say debt is a bad thing. They'd be right, but it's kind of funny to say to get us into more debt. So basically that's what we're doing, because I just need to spend my money somehow. Invite Andalusia to the block. Nice. Oh, I landed up here in Scotland. Nice. I'll bring up this 184 stack, and that'll be good. Oh, I got malaria prevention. Nice. Colonize here, 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 here. That should be good. We just need to build ports down here. And then I assume we probably have enough colonies growing. Yeah, this is sets us to the 2. Once these go, we'll be below 2 actually, but it'll be fine. Okay, we landed in London after taking out Scotland. Nice, we can now almost enforce on the UK. We just need to wait a bit and they'll be willing to accept my amazing peace deal. Apparently the UK just occupies Catalonia right now. That's great. But luckily, as long as they don't make it to Switzerland or whatever, they cannot enforce the war, so we're good. Peace has been achieved, and we can use Wales to get into Great Britain in the future, I guess. That'll be nice. Yeah, this is pretty great. Now we've got East India that we can use for various things. You know, they'll give us a pretty big Diplo pact. They'll make our mandates grow much faster, although we already have max mandates, but you know, we can swap out for market unification or whatever easier. And yeah, we also apparently have isolated Punjab from Britain, and now Britain's GDP is only 60 million. You can see the fall off from, I guess, losing Wales, but mostly it's going to be from losing their connection to India, and the market prices are going to be completely messed up now. Got like plus 75 OPM and stuff, and also got, I assume, like low prices on textiles and stuff. It actually looks like it's not as low prices I'd think. Surprising. Yeah, I'm actually not sure why their GDP dropped. It looks like all their prices are kind of just like fine. Weird. I guess I might as well rival Britain now and Brazil. Some extra influence. Apparently I have good relations with the USA. But yeah, I think I have a pro-USA lobby actually. Yeah, we do. I do need to get my relations up with the East India Company, or else we're going to have huge problems with power block cohesion. I should also probably improve a little bit with the rest of these guys, because otherwise they're going to give negative cohesion once we have good enough relations with those guys. Transfer Pomerania from Bavaria? What in the world is this war? Apparently Mapuche is a centralized nation now and is 500 times the GDP of Chile. I think I'm gonna go for a pass on multiculturalism. That would be pretty nice. The plan is I'm gonna go up like a 1 on gov wages, and we should be happy. Yeah, that makes the PB happy enough to not stop us from passing it now. And, oh, we should make the, oh no, if we make the anarchist guy in charge, then they'll stop bolstering the anarchist movement support. I wanted to do that, but, I could stop consumption taxing that. Oops, I didn't mean to unlock that. And then we can start bolstering the anarchist movement. That'll give us another 3%. I think I'm gonna go off of colonial offices temporarily onto creative legislature 1. Yeah, that gives us a pretty good chances on this law. We could go up to creative legislature 3 or whatever for the extra stall if we need it, but I want to keep the extra mandate so we can go back to colonial offices easier, because we do have 55 infamy to burn, so we don't need colonial offices for a while, but we are going to need it at some point. So the PB is back. Why are they so mad? They're not actually mad, they're just not happy enough. I think they're in a lobby against Russia, so we could, like, stop being friends with Russia, I guess. But we're kind of already enemies with Russia. So I guess we'll just have to go up to medium gov wages, and that should make the PB stop being big mad. Yeah. This is kind of a big downside with India, is they're super hard to keep loyal, which means we're gonna have a bit of problems getting power block cohesion up. Yeah, this is pretty annoying. Anyway, we get multiculturalism, which is always nice. You know, that means we can start sucking immigrants out of India and stuff. I would, of course, like to try to get India to pass no migration controls. That would be nice. But they have super high success chance on this. We want to try to get them to pass that for sure. They defer enacting it until after they get caste system. Wow, they really want to pass the caste system, but hopefully they'll get no migration controls. I'll try to stick on creative legislature for a bit longer so they can get that through. The darn East India Company refuses to start passing no migration controls. Why do they do this to me? We are getting loads of mass migrations right now, though. Like, tons of mass migrations. Helping out our pop quite a bit, although still definitely want to have more population. You know, GDP per capita is really good. It's been a long time since I've had a GDP per capita this high, this early, I feel like. 3.38 usually you wouldn't see till much later on. I guess I should go free trade because we have market liberal PB and market liberal industrialists. I do want to try to make the trade unions happy, so maybe that wasn't the best of ideas, but you know, it's fine. The trade unions were already mad at us. Just got free trade, very nice. Why in the world is Lubeck the primary target of this war instead of Denmark or something? This is very strange. I'm starting to pass old age pension because our socialist movement was getting kind of mad at us. I'm going to start turning on labor-saving PMs that are productive, because we are lacking a lot of peasants right now. We had only 600,000 before I made that swap. Anything that increases productivity, I'm not looking at weekly balance, just productivity, because it's the number that's more likely to be increasing. Productivity is still decreasing, then I'm not going to do it, of course, because that would just be like a terrible waste of time. I mean, you can make an argument if it's like lower productivity than the national average, then sometimes even if it's decreasing productivity, it's worth it. But I don't want to do the math on that, so I'm just going to be doing it whenever it would increase productivity. This has temporarily lowered our GDP a little bit, but we have only 1 million more peasants. That's like so little, actually. I'm surprised it's that little. That might be enough for it to be justified, but it's like barely better. This is why I hate labor-saving PMs. They need such a big buff, I feel like, in order to make contributive low pop actually like workable. Okay, to be fair, we now have like 1 million peasants, which is something, or like 1.5 million peasants, and our GDP is back up to an all-time high, so it was probably like worth doing or whatever, but it's just like such a small increase. How dare they? This is evil. The Indians have refused to pass no migration control. I have no clue why. It's like I have no clue what is wrong with the Indian government making them refuse that, but we're gonna ask them again. Okay, this time they actually accept. Oh, we get the what's it called? Or wait, no, yes, this is the volcanic eruption. I was just confused why it's talking about Al Rif, but yeah, we'll do that to reduce our agricultural penalty. Yeah, it's only 7%, not too bad. I really should have paid more attention. I bet I might have been aside with this radical revolt for a subject. I didn't even notice it was going on. No! Oh, we got no migration controls in India now, so we should be seeing like a ton of Indians fleeing to France now. Yeah, we get 5,000 immigrants from East Bengal. I don't know why we're not getting any from West Bengal. Maybe this is hitting the cap in all the states that have a Bengali um not homeland, cultural community so far. Where are they going? Are they going to Obangi Shari, actually? Some of them are. Where is the majority of these guys going? You're going to Brittany? Not that many. I don't know how there's 5,000 leaving if you only found like 4,000 pops throughout that. That's kind of weird. Oh, a bunch of these guys are entering Brittany, then immediately leaving to other states. Past old age pension. It's decent. I don't really want to level it up because it'll get minus workforce ratio, though. I really want to go women's suffrage, but getting the trade unions in the government is kind of tricky right now because, oh, we just got a new party, Communist Party. Okay, well, yeah, they're not winning like any of the votes, so that's not very good. Guess now that we've passed that, we should go back to having colonial offices, or we could do market unification or something so that we can like get the Italians to unify. Maybe we should just go market unification here. Because I think we want to start attacking Prussia and stuff now, so yeah, I'll go market unification now. And we'll start hoping that the Italians should unify with each other, assuming that they can get to 50 relations, which actually I don't think any of our guys are at 50 relations with each other yet, but as we get more Italians, they should start having 50 relations with each other. I just started subsidizing our arms industries because I want to try to get the small arms prices as low as possible to maybe try to get people to import small arms from us. Because if you didn't know, there's an event when you have when countries are importing small arms from us, you can get an event that will, they can get an event that will reduce your infamy by 5 if they have no small arms factories themselves. So it's like pretty useful if we can get that to trigger. But I think we're gonna need to make small arm prices go pretty low for that, and we'll like need to like give these guys their own markets or whatever. But we can't do that unless we like annex India, which is so much infamy. Even if we get them loyal, it's like 50. Oh, I've hit #1 GDP per capita in the world. Nice. Unfortunately, we're at #1 SOL because of Kathiri, Jambi, and Young Yakarta. Young Yakarta's got the government wage spiral, where you get like these ports where the workers are getting 2,000 average annual wages. Crazy. Oh, we need to support India in this play or else they're gonna go independent. Let's make sure to do that. We'll just support them for nothing, I guess. We should need to try to get a white piece here. Or actually not get a white piece. We want to enforce return Punjab and Punjab Hills. Those are good war goals. I guess we can go for liberate Scotland and Ireland. You know, that will be nice. Make Britain nice and small. Okay, Great Britain backed down. Love it. Now we get our India. Oh wait, I thought it was primary for Punjab Hills, but I guess not. But we still get Punjab, which is nice. POV, the migration map mode is pure green on your country. So many mass migrations. Most of these mass migrations are of like useless cultures, but it still is quite a few mass migrations. Also, we finished a tech. I mean, we should really start probably heading towards compression ignition now. This is always a very important tech to get ASAP. Might as well swap from tenant farmers to commercialized agriculture. I'm gonna steal the Rhineland from Prussia. Conqueror. Conquer Westphalia. Prussian war reparations. Humiliate Prussia. Um, hmm. Kind of want to go for like another thing. If we went for like Silesia, that could really weaken them a lot, but that would also like create the worst border gore of all time with us just randomly owning a state over there. I mean, we can probably conquer over there fairly quickly, actually. You know, it's not that bad. We'll probably just go for Silesia here. And with that, we should be basically taking away the entirety of the Prussian economy, I think. We can give Hanover Brandenburg? Sure. Yeah, I'll give Hanover Brandenburg. Oh, Bavaria, you want, what? We're already attempting to sway someone else? Okay, who can we sway next? Baden? No, you don't want a Wargol. Essay? No, you don't want a good Wargol. I want someone who can conquer something. Come on, guys. No, no, nobody wants to conquer anything? You're kidding me, bro. Well, at least we gave Hanover Brandenburg. I'm surprised, like, Saxony or whatever doesn't want the... Or I guess Saxony just isn't in this play, but maybe we should have declared for, something in the North Germany Treaty Agreement, like humiliation, so that we could have got them in. I don't know. It's fine. Making them lose Brandenburg as well as Silesia and stuff, this is just going to be game over for Prussia. And then the reason I really needed a game over Prussia is the Zollverein is like really annoying for me being able to like power block these guys because they're already in like a big power block. But once we kill the Zollverein, we should just be good. I do need to actually support Hanover so they don't capitulate. I think Hanover is likely to capitulate before we can reach them to save them. Unless we like send over a big army stack. How long is it going to take to reach that front? 26 days? Maybe that's reasonable. We'll send over an armor stack to Hanover to try to protect them because their front is going really badly. So they're going to capitulate pretty quick because they're having huge occupation and stuff. Please, let us get in. Yes, yes, we're in the Prussian capital just before Hanover capitulates, so we can get Hanover their war goal. We just need to like not take war reps probably. Yeah, we need to not take war reps, I think. Yeah, they're capping not fast enough, I'm pretty sure. So let's just propose this peace deal. And that should mean Prussia is very much going to drop out of... yeah, they're going to drop to minor power easily now. Minus 25% humiliation will be helping them out a little bit with that, but also just not really being a country anymore will also help them out. Yeah, they're much smaller now. They're basically just this stuff over here in the middle of Germany and this stuff over here. Oh, their market capital went here, so that means like everyone in the Prussian market has no market access anymore. So yeah, the block is gonna die now. Netherlands is power struggling. I assume those people will leave, sure as they have no market access. Surely they'll leave. They won't leave, I'm sure, but like I wish they would leave. A bunch of them have actually left. Nice. Maybe yeah, as cohesion stays at 0, maybe more of them will leave. Well, I should start like bankrolling and working on trying to get these guys into the block. Maybe not Bavaria. I might try to militarily get Bavaria in because Bavaria is a little bit unfriendly with us, I think. Or actually, they're only poor. We might better get Bavaria in as well. I'm gonna try to get in as many of these guys diplomatically as possible. I should just like rival like everyone because I need more influence to do this. You know, I could actually replace market unification with external trade. I should really delete all these inactive trade routes because they're just gonna lag the game. But if I go external trade, I can create a bunch of giant trade routes, and that should give us more influence that I can spend on getting more people into the block. Oh, it looks like Venice has eaten Lombardia. They're still pretty far from being a major power, so we don't need to worry about subjugating them. I'm gonna replace market unification with where is it? External trade. There it is. Influential trade center. Gives us a little bit of stuff already, but the main thing is gonna be if I just start exporting like everything on the planet, we should get a lot of stuff. I'm probably gonna only do things that are like level 4 at least or whatever, because otherwise we're gonna get so much lag from trade routes. But I'll sort by level, I guess, to do that. And I'm just gonna make as many high-level trade routes as possible, because that will give us as many trade center levels as we can get. Oh, I realize we're in a bit of a convoy shortage. That's gonna decrease the amount of trade we can do. I'm gonna build up a ton more ports, and that should increase the amount of trade we can do, because, yeah, we can't really do much trade when you have negative 4,000 convoys. All Austrians are leaving to move to France now. 13,000 per week. This is perfectly balanced. The Austrian population is gonna drop so much. How is it increasing? This is unacceptable. You're supposed to be losing like 1 trillion pops per second to my country. Okay, I think it's dropping now. Yeah, they definitely have gone down. 15,000 immigrants per week is actually crazy. Well, that's annoying. I seem to have lost the Confederation of the Rhine journal entry. What? Did Austria go down to being a... Oh, Austria is only a major power, right? And Prussia isn't a great power either, so we lost the Confederation of the Rhine? That's really annoying. We're paying a ridiculous amount to subsidize our arms industries. I didn't mean to spend this much on subsidizing them, so I'm gonna stop subsidizing the arms industries. Also, I'm gonna put the railways on steam trains, and I'm gonna delete a ton of unis, because we need to make some budget cuts here. We do not have a very good positive balance right now, so I'm just gonna delete a bunch of stuff, and that should be more reasonable. We're deleting unis because we just like don't have text to spread anyway. We have one text spreading, and that tech is probably gonna be the last one in that category or whatever. I think we're just like randomly getting text whenever they get researched, but like we have the enough text spread basically. I'm gonna start building just random stuff in India because our pop at home is like basically zero. So we don't have the Confederation of the Rhine journal anymore. I have started improving with Prussia. I'm gonna stop improving with the rest of these guys because the plan now is we're gonna try to subjugate Prussia and then try to North German Federation with them because without Confederation of the Rhine, subjugating all these guys is going to be so annoying to have like a trillion subjects here. We're just going to try to NGF it. It's going to be cheaper infamy if we can manage it. The only downside is we have to hope that Prussia doesn't, happen to fall to this revolution they're about to fall to. So that would not be very ideal if that were to happen. So I hope it doesn't. Luckily, they are allied to the Scandinavians, so they should stand like a chance at least. Scandinavia has joined the play. I'm going to unrival them and start bankrolling and stuff them because I really like want them to try to support Prussia as much as possible here. I can't join the play because I have too bad of relations with Prussia, and I can't join the other side because I have truce. So we're kind of screwed. If the revolution wins, they lose German leadership, and we just can't do anything. We're screwed. Scandinavia has 1,100 power production. The reactionary roll is 1,800. Not a good sign. Definitely not a good sign. If I could rate something as a good sign, I definitely would not rate that as a good sign. On the bright side, the reaction revolt is in default, so the longer this goes on, which, I mean, isn't going to be very long, the weaker their troops should become, I think. Up to minus 50%. And they're also running shortages on this, which I think actually makes them cheaper, but, if we just ignore the fact that running shortages actually makes things... Wait, do you actually want to intentionally run shortages on your barracks to make them cheaper? Is that actually like... No, it's just output, right? Yeah, I think it's just 50% output, not 50% throughput. If it were just throughput, though, that would be kind of an insane strat. How's the offense-defense going here? Offense is getting reduced by like 25% so far. That's not quite enough to lose the battle, seemingly, but hopefully it'll be enough to where they can't lose their full state, please. Oh no, it's so over. Oh, we're winning the defensive battle here. Let's go. Scania's starting to push into East Prussia. That's what we like to see. That'll make the Prussian reactionary revolt capitulate faster, which we need to have happen. Otherwise, Scania's just going to cap first. Looks like reactionary revolt's going to cap first now. That's what we need to see. Yeah, now they got that offense penalty. They're only getting 23 offense. That's what we need to have happen. At minus 38% from being in default is really carrying us to be able to have Prussia survive this, which we desperately need, or else we are just gonna get unable to have a North German Fed, which we would very much like to have a North German Fed. Yes, they lost some battles here, and they're down to only having 1% occupation, but at least it's not 0, because that means we still get the ticking war score on them. This is like they're barely gonna win. Scandi is getting kind of close to capping out, which we don't want to have happen, but okay, that is gonna mean that the end of the occupation in Ostpreußen or whatever is gonna be terrible for us. Can we get one more 5 tick, please? This is so absurdly close. Okay, I'm pretty sure they have this in the bag at this point. They're just capping at 4 a tick. They need to occupy Prussia in like the next 2 weeks or something. Yeah, okay, they're gonna lose another offensive battle, and that should just mean that Prussia is gonna win this, which is what we needed. Let's go! Nice. Then we'll be able to protectorate them. I think our truce is up. Our truce is gonna be up in 8 months, so we'll be able to protectorate them soon. Okay, Prussia's won the war. Nice. Should I get negative 50% colony growth speed in a place that's already colonized? Or should I spend 146,000 for 5 years? That's truly a very tough decision, really. I'm gonna make Prussia into my protectorate. Unfortunately, it looks like Great Britain and stuff might join against us, but it will be fine. I can handle any set of countries possible. Looks like we can't actually put troops on that front, but it doesn't matter. We'll just put troops on the fronts we can put troops on. If Great Britain joins, I would love to liberate Schleswig from them, just so we can ensure that the Holstein question is finished, because Holstein is a subject of Scandi, so all of them are subject of at least one country, so it might not be done yet. Yeah, Britain might get involved. Scandi definitely get us in. Oh, we could liberate from Scandi, right? That makes sense. Liberate Holstein. These guys are subjects of North German Fed, or subjects of Prussia, so we can let them exist still. Yeah. Okay, Prussia just backed down in our play. Well, that's nice, I guess. Oh, we're in a Diplo play? Oh yeah, we're in this Bolivia revolt. Oh, bruh, America's against us here. Let's just, up to the other side, I guess, so we can, not have to fight America. Oh, wait, these guys they aren't even a subject. What am I doing? I'm actually just throwing. I can't go back. Um, huh. Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, but it's fine. We can just win it anyway. Because they weren't actually subjects, so we just needed to full occupy and it would have been fine, but it doesn't matter. We'll just, win that Bolivia war. And then we can grant states to Prussia, make them a puppet, and then invade Austria for German leadership. Having like 160 million pops in France is pretty good considering we haven't really done any like ridiculous conquests this game. We've conquered like a lot of Africa, but we haven't conquered like anything over here in like East Asia where like the true pops are. I mean, we conquered like this one province from Taiwan, but this is probably like 200,000 pops or something, 400,000. Very little. It's not like a huge fraction of our pops or whatever. We got most of our pops over here in France, like 14 million in Rhone, probably like 100 million pops in the two French strategic regions of France and Occitania. I don't know which strategic region is more. Probably France, but it's pretty close because Rhone just has so many pops. Wow, Haiti managed to repay the debt. That's rare. You don't see that happen too often. Let's say they get a plus 60 prestige modifier for that. Also, Bolivia is back to being united again. So, for some reason, I can't give Prussia German leadership. I have no clue what's wrong. I checked, and they have German leadership, and Austria also has German leadership, but we can't sway them in for that war goal. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe they have to be at least as high of a power rank or something. I don't know. I think what I'm just gonna do is grant Prussia Silesia so that we can reduce autonomy on them, and then I'm just gonna try to weaken Austria enough that they're gonna like have a revolution potentially or something. Maybe like Lib Czechoslovakia conquer Transdanubia and conquer Croatia or something, or Lib Croatia conquer. No, we have to like conquer Croatian and Transdanubia or something. Unless we want to lib Hungary, but living Hungary is like so much of Austria getting just destroyed. Maybe we just lib Hungary. Do we even need Hungary for like the Confederation of the Rhine stuff or like whatever France controlled at its peak? Let me go check if Hungary, any of that stuff isn't controlled by France at its peak or whatever. Yeah, obviously nothing except for like the Croatian stuff. So actually, I'm just gonna liberate Hungary. We probably won't be able to get them in the block, but it doesn't matter. We just need to try to weaken these guys. I guess what do we want to do with like West Galicia or something? Or we just lib Bohemia as well, and then that should like pretty much destroy them. We could lib Croatia too. With all this stuff, Austria should be like super weak now. Like humiliation primary, and then primary lib Bohemia. And I guess we'll primary lib Croatia. And that'll be our war with Austria. It's not ideal, but we gotta figure out a way to make Austria fall to a revolution or something. And maybe like splitting up their country into having like this stuff isolated and stuff will maybe be enough. Like we'll maybe get a reactionary movement out of that stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We got compression ignition. That's nice. I guess I'll go nitrogen fixation next, and then I guess we'll go arc welding. Should probably build electricity plants so that we can actually like start using that stuff at some point. We should start turning on compression ignition as well, but that is going to be a little bit hard because I don't think we have that much oil in our territory right now. I'm not sure, but I don't think we have much oil. I can't think of anywhere where we have like a ton of oil really. I think 10 should be a pretty good number for most of our states here. We'll see. Like we got 81 oil rigs that can produce like 8.1 thousand oil or so. So like That's roughly our cap on how much oil producing or oil requiring stuff I should consider using. Well, obviously gold mines. Railways are usually like a decent choice, I think. They'll give us like infinite infra. Yeah, let's turn on diesel trains. That should give us a decent oil shortage, but it'll get fixed once we, what's it called? Once our oil things employ up. Okay, Austria is about to capitulate. Unfortunately, the Brazilians are like trying to steal Bolivian Amazonas from us, so that's why we had to go to -100 here. Oh, what? They took back their capital? No! We were about to win, but of course this had to happen. No! Okay, Austria is capped now. This nice little band from Bohemia to Croatia here, splitting Austria in two. Hopefully these provinces will start having terrible SOL soon, and once these provinces have terrible SOL, they'll get radicalism, which will make the reactionary movement big mad, or the socialist movement will be big mad. I don't really care. All I care about is that a revolution can be successful in the country. It's like reactionary movement should have some more chances than the socialist movement, I think. Socialist movement only spawning in Istria isn't a very good chance. Piedmont just got annexed by Tuscany. I guess we'll wait to protectorate or subjugate these guys till we can get papal states into the bloc. You want to try to get all of Italy into the bloc if possible. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. We get an Austrian social revolt, which they're going to easily deal with, and that's going to like reset their radicalism for the most part, and we can't side with it because we have a truce. Very unfortunate. Maybe the reaction movement will still be able to fire. We'll see. It's going to have to rely on a lot of radicalism from the isolated market or something. I'm going to owe an obligation to the papal states in order to get them into the bloc. Yeah, they accept our invitation. Okay, now I'm going to subjugate Tuscany, I guess, and I'm going to start working on Two Sicilies as our next bloc member. I need to use that obligation to get this. We are going to wait for cohesion to go up in order to invite them, of course. I'm going to get the intelligentsia into government so we can try to pass women's suffrage, because I would like to get my workforce ratio up, because, you know, I want to have a GDP per capita higher than 4. That would be nice. Maybe we can get my highest GDP per capita ever this run. I think that's probably like 5 or something. I don't know. My GDP per capita is usually aren't that great. I know some people have pushed like 10 GDP per capita or whatever. I don't really know how. I mean, like oil and stuff, as well as like labor saving PMs. We aren't using enough labor saving PMs probably. I should probably actually recheck our labor saving PMs. There's probably some more that are worth swapping on to now. I should definitely check that actually. So Britain has a lot of a lot of leverage on Two Sicilies, and we need to get the Schleswig-Holstein question solved. So I'm going to declare to liberate Schleswig. Britain might just accept, but if they don't, then we're going to, okay, yeah, they refuse. So we're going to try to humiliate them and stuff to try to make their effect on Two Sicilies less annoying. Liberating Ireland and stuff. Liberate Malta, that should do something. Oh, we should also take the Eastern Andalusia Treaty Port. That'll let us have a land connection into Africa. And then I'll just primary that, I guess. I should have primaried the humiliation, actually. That would have been more unlikely for them to back down. Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. USA side with Great Britain. Alright. I'm gonna get the trade unions government to help us pass this. We're gonna have to go lower taxes in order for that to be legitimate, though. We landed in the home counties, so it is simply a matter of time till England surrenders, except that we're also at a matter of time till we surrender, because Britain has landed in us. Not landed, but like, they're here. Or they have landed, actually. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of conscripts to try to prevent this. Yeah, so many conscripts are gonna need to be added here. And hopefully we can do it. Because, yeah, we don't want to be occupied by the British, ideally. Have we got the conscription PM set up to advanced tactics training? We need to get this. Hopefully we don't get capitulated here. Luckily they have a Vorgel on Carnatic Treaty Port, so they do need to make it to at least our capital, I guess. That's something. It's not as much as I would like, but it is something that they have to do at least. Britain is capping right now, but like they need to cap for a while longer for it to mean much. Like we don't have that big of an advantage in the British Isles, actually. Luckily, it does look like USA is going to cap out soon, and that actually is like the majority of their power projection. I don't know why USA so consistently will mobilize so much for the British. It's like, bro, it's just you don't need to you don't need to help out your friend that much, bro. Okay, you can just leave them be. I wonder how close Austria is to hitting bankruptcy. They have a lot more debt than they have GDP, so surely soon. Looks like USA is out of the war now, so surely now Britain should start losing a little bit better. We can actually like almost certainly start pushing on this front now that USA doesn't have infinite troops guarding it. The game is running really slowly right now. I hope that that isn't going to happen for the rest of the run, because this is an unacceptably slow pace if I want to like run another 20 years of gameplay. I'm gonna try to de-enact external trade 3 because I think it might be causing. Oh, we have to wait a year, or we have to wait like 2 months or whatever. But I'm gonna try to de-enact external trade 3 because it's making our subject, I think, maybe add a bunch of trade routes, which we just like can't have because I think that's probably what's lagging the game. I mean, it might not be, but it'll probably help. I mean, it's not helping yet, but maybe it'll help at some point. We'll see. It's probably better than nothing. Uh-oh, we're capping because they took over Carnatic, so I'm gonna enforce mill access on Dominion of India. That maybe isn't a great idea. Actually, they're kind of loyal now, so it's probably fine. Okay, which of these do we not want to take? I guess we'll just not liberate Malta. I kind of wanted to not have them have a native interest in Italy, but it's going to be fine for them to have a native interest in Italy, really. Okay, looks like reloading the save has made the game run much faster, so that's good. Well, we have 25 SOL in Rhone. That's pretty solid. I wonder what the SOL is in the #1 SOL place in the world, aka Yogyakarta. It's 53. I'm surprised it hasn't gone up much since last time we checked it. I feel like it should either go up or down. I don't think it should stay the same. Seems weird that they just like continuously be paying 2,000. It wouldn't go like up and down randomly if you're at this high. I don't know. That's just like what I feel like though. I think they're like bankrupting like every single week or whatever. Yeah, that looks like what's happening here. They're not actually. It looks like they've just been in default for a couple of months here. Dang, legitimacy is bad. I guess we'll go down to like minimum taxes. Dang, a civil war just before we can join against them. I guess we'll declare our own separate war like immediately to probably force them to lose it. We'll see. Actually, the civil war is like kind of strong. Oh, it has Venice and Tuscany supporting it as well. That certainly is something. Oh, unfortunately, we can't support it because, yeah, 3rd of November, I think it's going to be too far. Yeah, it's going to be barely too far, I'm pretty sure. Actually, they might just be losing because they don't have a coastline, so I don't know if their like supporters can actually help them here. And they surely will lose against Venice and Lombardy. Yeah, surely these guys will actually just beat them. Unless the guys are somehow here, but they just aren't. Yeah, so Austria's going to lose this, which is what we need. That should mean NGF is going to fire in just a second here after Austria loses this civil war. Yeah, there's Styria already occupied. Looks like our GDP is starting to grow again. We're up to 850 million almost. That's pretty good. 21 SOL. What's happened recently that's made our SOL start going up? I guess trade unions have the happy bonus? I don't know. Really something. We got 26 SOL in Rhone now. It's all just going up. I'm surprised that Rhone is like so much better than the other states. I guess Franche-Comté is kind of close, but it's really just Rhone is like by far the highest. Okay, capital of Austria is now occupied, so they're gonna start capping out real quick. We should get North German Federation, I'm like 90% sure. Unless there's something I'm forgetting about, we should get North German Fed here. Okay, we should have Austria capping in just a second here. And now, North German Fed? Yes! Okay, it doesn't get everyone, of course, because they have like a 90% acceptance chance or something. But, hey, that's pretty good. I'm gonna start working on cleaning up the remaining states over here in Germany that refused the North German Fed thing, and I'll, of course, also start trying to work on getting these guys to join the bloc if possible in South Germany. Bavaria, proposed trade agreement. I'm gonna try to get these guys in the bloc. They're disinterested. It's kind of annoying. The GDP of India has been exploding recently. It's almost up to 300 million or so. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah, I should go back to external trade too. Oh, we passed women's suffrage. I wonder if that changes what the election results look like. Looks like it made the industrialists get a little bit less clout and the intelligentsia and stuff get more clout. But yeah, 15% workforce ratio instead of 5% will be very nice. And now we can try to pass them and make the trade unions happy, and we can, well, really, we should go back to government like this. So we have high legitimacy, and then go back to a reasonable tax level. I mean, really, we should be on like this tax level or whatever. But like, we don't really have that many peasants, so I think we'll just stay on medium. Oh, right, that's why our SOL increased. It's because we decreased taxes. That makes a lot of sense, actually. I should have realized that. But is there anything we can make the trade unions, or that we can do with the trade unions? Yeah, we can try to pass mass conscription. That's always a nice law to get in, and the trade unions will like it, giving us that plus 5% workforce ratio modifier. Actually, I should probably raise taxes because highest, well, like this is actually kind of bad for pop growth to have above 20. Maybe I should like raise taxes. Maybe that's like, it probably doesn't really matter too much. I'll raise taxes because I guess that was kind of bad for GDP growth. We'll just, build some more construction. Or not bad for GDP growth, bad for pop growth. And pop growth is kind of important for GDP growth. We can just build a bunch of construction to utilize all this new money that we have. It's a lot of new money that we have. Russia, I'm gonna need Pomerania real quick. Okay, Russia doesn't want to give me Pomerania. Well, you know what that means, Russia. You're gonna have to lose Poland, you're gonna have to lose Ukraine, you're gonna have to lose Belarus, and you're gonna have to get humiliated. So, yeah, it's really your choice on whether you wanna just capitulate now or if you wanna just like give me all those war goals. I don't know. It's really up to you, you know. Okay, Russia just backs down. That's fine. We'll deal with liberating Poland and stuff later. Okay, next it's Scandinavia's turn. Okay, Scandinavia actually accepted. Oh wait, they have Lubeck directly, so we shouldn't have made that not a forced. We should have made that a forced diplo play. The remaining guys here are owned by Bavaria, which is why we're not attacking them, because I do want to try to subjugate Bavaria. Um, hmm, I guess I'll call on my obligation to get the power block embassy. Really tough to figure out what to do with these guys. Trying my best to get them into the block, but they're all just like disinterested. Well, except for Baden, so that's like making it really hard to get them into the block because they get minus 50 from that. Well, I can get Bavaria or Baden into the block. Getting Bavaria and stuff in is gonna be tough because they only got like a 40% chance of accepting, and I can't offer them an obligation or anything. I need to like get another obligation from bankrolling them, I guess, and then we'll have like a 90% success chance. I guess I can get investment rights, and that'll give more leverage. Past mass conscription, apparently 3.2 thousand battalions can be mobilized. That's quite a few battalions, you know. GDP per capita is actually, doing pretty decent. SOL has definitely fallen quite a bit now that we're running maximum taxation, but that should actually be good for our pop growth, yeah. We're running 1.5% pop growth, which is pretty solid, although I think the majority of our pop growth is still in migration. Although it looks like we're actually losing migrants from Rhone and they're going to other places, which is a little bit surprising. Maybe I should put a greener grass campaign here. I feel like this is kind of the state I wanted migrants to go to, but it's probably fine, actually. The state has probably overcrowding issues. The pop growth is going to be a little bit bad here, I think. And take a look and see if there's any overcrowding pop growth problems. Yeah, we're getting minus 9% from overpopulated, so it's probably better for them to spread out, I guess. Well, I guess I'm just going to request Bavaria to join the power block. Or wait, they're still going up. I'm just going to request it. We'll see what happens. We can just request in another 5 years. Surely it'll be fine. Yeah, okay, they just accept. It's fine. Or it's good. Württemberg, we have like so much leverage advantage projection that we should be fine. Yeah, we're going up like another 150 leverage on them, so we should be able to get that to 100%. Bohemia is tough, but we should be able to get them. We need to get an embassy. Okay, yeah, we can get an embassy with Bohemia now. Austria, we have Genio with because they have a coastline. That's going to be a little bit easier. I guess I'm going to go down a tax level because we kind of just like don't need the money. We have like nothing to spend this construction on. So I realized there's actually a 200 leverage cap on how much the leverage will give to this. So we actually just have to gamble it, and there's nothing we can do. Okay, well, they accept. So I guess plus 400 leverage is like the cap to how much will actually matter. If we can get that on Bohemia, it'll be enough to guarantee acceptance. So that's good. Okay. Defensive pact. Will give us more leverage. And just slowly working these guys up to having enough leverage. We're going to be doing Netherlands militarily. Probably do that like just about now. But I do want to try to get Austria into the block soon. Yeah, once we get them to 200 leverage, we should be able to invite them. So I'm just going to go deck Netherlands for Protectorate. That should be good. Oh, the darn Americans and the Egyptians are trying to protect the Netherlands. This is unacceptable. I can use my obligation to get Bohemia into the block, and we can owe an obligation to Austria to get them into the block. Very nice. Looks like you've occupied most of the Netherlands. Yeah, they should be capping out real soon here. Hopefully, yeah, they're not a major. Oh, wait, I should have put a war goal to take this from Sweden. It's fine. It's fine. We didn't need it anyway. We'll take it in 5 years. Cohesion in the block is really low because of the Netherlands. I need to try to get some more influence so I can improve with them. I should probably cancel all my defensive pacts. Those are wasting like... Oh, I should not have canceled the two Sicilies. Oops, that's a bit of a mistake. I'm going to cancel with like everyone else, and then I should actually like redo two Sicilies because we need two Sicilies. But yeah, we need to improve relations with the Netherlands so we can get cohesion back, because 20 cohesion is not good. We have one more company slot. I'm really not sure what company to put in, because we kind of just like have every company we really need. Uh, I don't know. I guess we can go for like the minus mill goods cost company and then start building a giant military industrial complex. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we could actually go like militarized industry and then stack that negative 25% mill goods cost, and that will like mean we can stimulate the economy pretty well with military stuff. That might be pretty decent. Yeah, that could be pretty good. Well, I guess we can go back down to like low taxes now because we're kind of just making infinite money. That should boost up our GDP even more. I'm spamming a bunch of lancers because they seem to have pretty good consumption, pretty good goods consumption. Like they consume iron, grain, and small arms. I don't really like grain too much, but the other stuff is solid. You know, small arms are very productive. Iron is productive, so I think spamming out, 1.1 thousand lancers should help out with our economy a little bit. I don't know. Seems like it couldn't hurt it. It also might increase our leader share of total prestige. I guess we could build up some navy as well for that. Like ironclads, I guess. Because we want to try to get our prestige up so we can get cohesion. Because if we don't have 50 cohesion target, then we can't get, what's it called? If we don't have 50 cohesion target, then we can't start subjugating these power block members. So we need to get our cohesion target up somehow. We'll get part of it from making Netherlands happy, but increasing our share of prestige will also help. 12 out of 11 logging camps. I wonder how you can consistently replicate that, because that would actually be like really helpful if we can consistently replicate getting more building levels, assuming it's not capped to just like 1 over whatever. Like imagine having like 900 gold mines in whatever California. That would be quite helpful if you could do that. I wonder how you can do that, because really it's possible, because there's 12 out of 11 logging camps in Cambodia. The anarchy. India thinks they can go free. Never in a million years will I let India go free. I just realized we have 47 million loyalists. That's quite a couple. That's quite a good number of loyalists. 1.1 thousand lancers coming to the rescue. Some would say they don't have org, but who needs org when you have 1.1 thousand lancers, really? Germany's GDP has been skyrocketing recently. They're now the #2 GDP per capita country in the world, just behind Wales. Okay, we finally have hit 50 cohesion, so I can subjugate Baden, and that should raise our target cohesion a little bit because we have less independent block members, and we'll slowly subjugate all of our independent block members, reducing our cohesion penalty over time, so we can actually do so. We have one major war to do left, and that's going to be to conquer the stuff from Russia. It's 98.5 infamy to conquer all the states, which is, not ideal, but at least it's not 100. The states are going to be the three like core Polish states: Grodno, Vilnia, and Kovno, I believe. I think those are the states that are basically what my map is showing the controlled. I mean, it shows like a line to Moscow, but that is like in a different color. I think that's like they occupied this or whatever. But yeah, if we're not taking that, because that's not doable in time. So let's not die to strikes forever. Let's pass regulatory bodies. Yeah, let's do that now. But we need to get the trade unionists or church and government for that. So okay, I guess we'll get the church and government and start passing regulatory bodies. Apparently, Württemberg lost their civil war, and so now they're just independent. That's not very nice. I guess it's one less independent block member. I don't know. It's kind of annoying though. We're actually at 2 billion GDP in the block. That's crazy. The British have a little bit too much leverage over two Sicilies, so I'm gonna need to humiliate them again. That should make their leverage quite a bit lower. They might just accept my humiliation, so we'll see. Bruh, they don't accept it? How dare they? That's so mean. I just wanted to humiliate them, you know? Is that really too much to ask for? I mean, it is, but is that really too much to ask for? Um, I'll just like put on a million war goals, and I think they'll probably just back down. We'll see. Um, do we just spam liberates? I guess I can just spam liberates. Yeah. Liberate Australia, liberate Trucial States, liberate Cape Colony, liberate British Senegal, liberate British East Africa. How did British East Africa manage to form? That doesn't... I guess that's 4 states. Yeah, well, I guess I forgot they conquered Madagascar. Anyway, I think they're probably they're just almost guaranteed to back down to this, but we will see. Okay, Britain backed down. That should help out with my leverage on two Sicilies quite a bit. Yeah, we're headed towards 188 now. So I'll probably... Oh, we get a war where North German Federation is going to unify Germany. Okay, that is interesting. Hmm. Okay, I don't think I want to support North German Fed because they are going against a bunch of our subjects, and that might not go very well. I mean, like, actually, it would go pretty well, but I think it might set them free. I don't know. I'd kind of. Oh wait, this annexed Austria. Oh, so then we definitely want to support them because this is gonna get all the subjects. This is actually like amazing. Wait, I didn't. What? They're allowed to unify Germany while being a puppet? Actually, that's interesting. Yeah, I would not have expected that they were allowed to unify Germany while being a puppet, but I think this should be everything we need in Germany, so we can just support these guys in exchange for, I mean, like nothing basically. Yeah, they have like, everything we'd want, so let's just support these guys, and that's gonna be that pretty much. Oh, it removes the war goals on Bavaria because we already have them as a protectorate, I guess. Okay, well that's fine. We'll just deal with Lubeck, and very soon we'll be declaring on Russia for their stuff over here in Poland and stuff. I looked at some more maps and it looks like we might not actually be supposed to take the Lithuania stuff, or like we're not supposed to maybe take this and this, but it depends on the map, so I'm probably just gonna take those things and it'll be fine. I want to go to get two Sicilies into the block soon, so I think I'm gonna avoid doing the Russia war right now, and the next war is gonna be to protectorate Croatia. Oil prices are a bit low, so I guess I could turn on houseware plastics and bone china. What's the worst that could happen? Looks like bone china is not very productive. I guess I won't turn that on, but I guess we'll keep houseware plastics. Oil is pretty expensive now, but I'm sure we can just have oil employ up more and it'll be fine again, right? Surely it'll be fine. I'm sure. Okay, we've enforced on everyone but Scandinavia, so I can now just send this peace deal, and we should get, yep, the war's over now. Now we got this giant North German Federation puppet, and we got our two other protectorates here in Germany. And that's real nice. It was just like lowered, a bunch of our independent bloc members. And looks like we can actually get a power block embassy with two Sicilies now. And we can almost get them into the block. Just need a little bit more leverage. But with the power block embassy, that should be pretty easy. What? Why does the UK own Mississippi and the USA is bankrupt? What in the world happened here? I have no clue. You can see this fun little pop graph on India where their pop has been like pretty much stable since like what's this gonna be like 1880 or something, and it's actually been dropping since like 1895 or something. And I think this is just because of migration, because you can see their pop growth is still like almost 1.5 million per year, but they just have like quite a few pops that are leaving the country to go move to Europe. Better not keep getting unlucky with regulatory bodies and hit a strike. That would be ridiculous. There's no way. Surely not. That's it's not gonna happen. Come on, please. Surely. So elections taken place, and we no longer have any legitimacy. So, hmm. Um, how do I get legitimacy? I just don't. I see. Okay, well that's not very convenient. Oh, actually, we have lots of legitimacy options. We can do this for legitimacy. This will help out with passing the law. Yeah, now we got even better success chance because trade unions are more clouded than the devout. The fascist party is going to be winning the election. Very sad. That's crazy. Just get the industrialist PB combo has been carrying this whole game. I wish I could get off of wealth voting, but it seems kind of difficult. I mean, actually, maybe we could at this point. I don't know. Okay, I finally completed the strike. We got regulatory bodies. We almost ran out of time, but we did it. Okay. We can get 20% labor and machinist loyalists. That's pretty good. 88 million loyalists. 88 million loyalists is so many loyalists. It's insane. Apparently, like every single radical we have is unemployed. No, they're engineers, shopkeepers, clerks, and a little bit in other professions. I'm surprised we still have any labor or radicals. 88 million loyalists out of 270 million pops is actually just insane. I can now get two Sicilies into the block. I was just invading a random country because we were almost out of infamy, but Now we got two Sicilies into the block. I'll probably start working on invading Russia as our next war. We just need to get down to like 0 infantry for that, or else it is going to be a bit of a problem. I'll now use a subjugate on papal states. The block is looking pretty good so far. We could probably try to get Hungary in, I guess. Yeah, that would be good. Although we probably won't get them in, or we might get them in before we end, but definitely like not going to subjugate them, I'm pretty sure. Looks like Two Sicilies has good relations with all the other Italians, so I'm just gonna swap out external trade for market unification real quick. Apparently that gives us new order, except we already had that unlocked. I don't know why it shows that, but anyway, Two Sicilies should hopefully get annexed by one of the North Italians, because that would mean that if we were to form HRE, we could like annex them fully instead of them being left with their capital. So that'll be a little bit nice. They've got good relations, I think, like every single one of these, except actually they only border with Papal States, so that's the only one they can get annexed by, I guess. Okay, yep. Two Sicilies got annexed by the Papal States. Well, Russia's a major power now, so I'm pretty sure the infantry cost is going to be a little bit lower, but I'm going to go for the states from them. Hopefully we have enough maneuvers to, like, make something primary after we conquer all these, because surely Russia will just back down if we can't do that. Okay, well, I'm gonna find all the states and look to try to primary something, because otherwise this is going to be the most guaranteed backdown in the history of guaranteed backdowns. Yeah, I don't think the return CBs apply to any of the states we need, which is a little bit unfortunate. I could go for like a liberate Lithuania, but that would be really annoying. Uh, we've got 79 maneuvers left, and what have we conquered so far? All the Polish stuff, so we just need the two Lithuanian states, which are going to be like, how many maneuvers each? Oh, that's not a unincorporated state. Where's an unincorporated state? Do we just not have an interest in the Baltics, actually? No, I do. Why am I not able to find them? Okay, here they are. They're 13 maneuvers each, so I'm going to go for conquering each of them. And then we've got 50 maneuvers left. So I guess liberate Ukraine primary might be pretty good. And then we can primary one of these, but it's going to be a lot of infamy. Okay, primarying conquer Lublin should keep us barely under 100 infamy. Yep, barely. Looking at our culture map mode, the only states that have lost their original culture is Savoy. Oh, actually, Rhineland has become French, and Westphalia. Well, Russia didn't back down. Oh. No, okay, I was thinking they still had Pomerania, and I forgot that, but no, we already conquered that in a previous war, it's fine. I mean, my balance is actually, like, so good, I should lower taxes again, and maybe actually increase gov wages. Yeah, and I just, like, don't need to be, like, saving money at this point. Like, the game's almost over, and we're still not even losing that much money. Like, barely losing more than the 0.1% of GDP. That's, like, the very conservative amount you can be losing in deficit spending. If you're going, like, hard growing your GDP at that time, you can go way more than 0.1%, but 0.1% is, like, the pretty conservative number. I wonder if this will be enough to get us to 25 SOL. I don't think so, but it might be pretty close. Like, what's the percentage of income taxes we're removing? Only 5% income tax reduction, but, it's still quite a bit. I guess we could, like, remove the grain consumption tax as well. That gives us a lot of extra spare authority we could use on something. I don't know what we would use it on, but we do have a bunch of authority now. I guess I should start trying to pass universal suffrage. That would be nice so we can get the trade unions happy powerful. Oh, they already are powerful, actually, so that's kind of unnecessary. But, oh yeah, we should, like, kind of not do this, maybe? Hmm. It's like, if the trade unions are always going to be happy powerful anyway, so that's not really going to be too necessary then. We just want to get this Bourse du Travail thing for +10 workforce ratio. So we have a bunch of humanitarians here, which would be nice if we didn't already have multiculturalism. Rowan SOL is 30? That's crazy. Is there like a bunch of companies here? Or how in the world is that happening? Oh yeah, we have Duro Campania and stuff here. That makes a lot of sense actually why it's so high SOL, because the pops here have like 50 SOL in these buildings, and this company is employing 400,000 people, which is, I mean, you know, not nothing. That's like 2% of the state's population or something. Actually, I don't know how this works with the workforce ratio. Looks like it's working correctly with workforce ratio actually. So like, yeah, 2% of the pops in the state. So not amazing, but I mean, that's surely gonna bring the SOL up quite a bit. Senegal being our third highest SOL state is kind of interesting. I guess it's just got some good resources or something. Oh, tons of sulfur is here. Interesting. Yeah, the sulfur mine is very productive here. 45 productivity, almost everyone. Not almost anyone, not almost everyone, but a lot of people are working there in the state. The SOL of these pops is 29. Well, I can now make peace with Russia, establishing the French Empire over here in Poland too now. Our population is 296 million. That's pretty solid. Pop growth is starting to slow down, only 0.86% per year, which is a little unfortunate, but it's still pop growth, which is, pretty okay. I'll reduce Bavaria to being a puppet. I think we might want to form HRE. It's like kind of tempting. I don't know. I'm gonna grant a bunch of stuff to the Netherlands and stuff to try to reduce autonomy on them. Well, actually, first I should do like someone who's gonna be easier to reduce autonomy on. I'll do Venice first, and then I'll go reduce autonomy on Netherlands by giving them as much stuff as possible. I'll start out with Dutch East Indies stuff and then grant them the rest when that inevitably doesn't end up being enough. And there's Netherlands, reduced autonomy to puppet. Next you want to do like Baden, I guess. Well, I reduced autonomy on everyone, so we can now form the Holy Roman Empire if we want. I also like fixed the borders. The borders, of course, when we first reduced autonomy, looked absolutely terrible. In fact, actually, I forgot to fix the Netherlands borders, but other than that, everything is pretty good. I think that I'm probably going to form Central Europe here, but first I do want to give the Netherlands stuff back to Germany, actually, so that will be looking a little bit better, because I think I might end up using the pre-formation borders as the thumbnail. We shall see. Okay, so if I form Central Europe here, 25 prestige, and we get the Great French Empire, 10 out of 10 France here. It was actually, is it? No, yeah, I switched to Holy Roman Empire. We have 2 billion GDP. Very nice, very nice. Oh, it didn't incorporate as much as I was hoping for. We still have, like, all of Austria and stuff is unincorporated for some reason. How dare they do this to me? We have 14,000 bureaucracy deficit. This is so sad. How could they do this to me? All I wanted was to have a good functioning Holy Roman Empire, but they decided to give me an unfunctioning Holy Roman Empire. How could they do this to me? This is so rude. Billion GDP is very solid. I'm gonna start trying to swap up all my PMs. I don't need to do that one. That PM I don't have on for reasons. Because we don't have enough oil, I think. That should be diesel pump. That should be condensing engine pump. I'm gonna set everything to the correct PM so that we get how the things going correctly. 2 billion GDP is pretty solid though, and 400 million pop, and the HRE is very good, I think. I think this might be my highest GDP ever achieved on a non-China conquest run, except maybe the India run, but we did conquer China eventually in that run, but I think I might have had 2 billion GDP before we conquered China. I'm not really sure, but all I know is 2 billion GDP is very good. 22.5 SOL definitely went down a little bit, but hey, it's still a solid amount of SOL. We're in a big bureaucracy deficit. That would get solved. Anyway, I think we're gonna end off the run here. Is a very solid run, I think. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Goodbye!